Welcome everybody to our BNI Talks webinar. Today, my guest is me, Steve Tenuzzo, and I am your host and your presenter. And we are talking about growing your personal brand on LinkedIn, a little bit different from building your business on LinkedIn. So I want to talk about that, and we will get that up. People are asking already where the recording will be. This goes on our BNI Team USA YouTube channel. So that gets posted right around the end of the day, around 5 p.m. You'll see it up on that YouTube channel, so you can share it with people or refer to it as needed. All right, so let's begin. We'll start with this. Hey, folks, I'm out of BNI mode for a second, and I'm in Tenuzzo Creative mode. That's my business, which I haven't talked about in 7 years. So here we go. I'm a copywriter by trade. I also do some SEO. I have a brand new website that's going live on Sunday. So very excited about all that stuff. There's my new logo in the lower corner. Shout outs to all the people who helped me with the website and the logo and all the other cool stuff that's coming my way. I hope that you are all using, and I'm probably going to talk about this all throughout this webinar, reach out to the people in your chapter who are excellent at what they do to get your branding right, to get your website right, all that important stuff. Because LinkedIn is just a conduit to get people to eventually get over to your website where they'll give you the call, and that's where the business starts. But just like any other social media outlet, LinkedIn can be a really great way for you to build your business. Okay. So let us begin. So let's talk about first the difference between a personal brand and a business brand. Can anybody, here's something, throw this in the chat. Let me know the difference between what you think a personal brand is versus your business brand, because they are two very different things. Typing. Who's got an idea? People buy me versus people buy my product. Yep, exactly, Jamie. So we want to talk about that. So I'm going to give you an example of this if it's not clear. And Susan writes who you are and why you exist versus who your biz is and why it exists. Absolutely. Who you are versus what you do. So here's a good example. If I can. There we go. Everyone knows Simon Sinek pretty well. He's been around for a number of years. He's the Start With Why guy, the Golden Circle guy. He is well known as a person. Does anyone know what his business name is? I just thought it was him, Simon Sinek. Well, he's Simon Sinek, but his business is called, yep, there you go. Anyone hear of this? The Optimism Company? I've never heard of it. His personal brand is so strong from his TED Talks, from all the things that he's done, from his books that he writes. You kind of know him more than the company itself. And so that's really the difference between a brand and your personal brand. And so today we're going to be talking about you and your personal brand. Okay. So we all know our pal Tiffany Kellogg. She's great. Here's a really great way of showing who she is right on her LinkedIn profile. Right? She's got this image. It shows that she's written 3 books. It's got her, her website is tiffanykelloggk.com. Nice photo, all good stuff, right? And then you'll see below, it'll have her name. It'll say, do you want more money, more time, more fun? That's part of her brand. She's a referral generator. It talks all of the things. And she's, of course, a sock collector and aficionado. And so that is really great stuff that she does that kind of makes her stand out from the crowd. And she is very popular. You can see she's got 500 connections or more than 500 connections. So that's great. Right off the bat, you immediately know who she is and what she does. So that's something that you should look at when you are updating your profile. Let's look at another. Here's another one. This is Sam, and Sam is somebody, by the way, find him and follow him. He is great. He does pretty much what I do. But you know what? To me, there's no competition. It's really all about everybody. There's so much work out there for people. Sam does an amazing job, and he works very hard on his LinkedIn, and somebody that I admire because this is something I'm working on starting next week. I've already got stuff together and it's going to be pretty cool. So find Sam on LinkedIn and definitely follow him. But look at his profile. So he's got, he says, my posts make your life more productive and fulfilling. Story obsessed LinkedIn ghostwriter, right? So very simple, easy language to understand. I like that. He's got a link to his website. And you'll see here, he's got 113,000 followers, something I aspire to. That's a lot of followers. There's a difference between connections and followers, by the way. So connections are those people where you link to and you say, let's connect on LinkedIn. And then you'll see like the number up here. So I follow Sam, but I'm not connected to him. So that's why this says here a second connection, right? I really should go through and follow him because we do chat every so often. But I do follow him because I don't want to miss out on any of his posts in my feed, and they come in pretty much daily, right? So you'll want to do that. Next. This is Ryan. I love Ryan's banner up here. How simple. I create LinkedIn content programs that do this. You had 2 likes, now you've got 391 likes, right? And the more likes, and by the way, the little idea button and the love button turns into money, right? A very simple message. And he is another great content creator, someone else that you should follow, right? Okay. And next. Hey, look, there's me. So I've got my banner up, and you'll see that I'm moving up fast. I've got 1,688 followers, and people are asking me, how did you get so many followers so fast? And I was told how I got those followers because I didn't even realize it. One thing I realized is that when people post, they will post something on a very, like, let's say we go to one of Sam's posts because he's a very popular guy, so he's got hundreds of comments. If I post a comment, I don't just say, great post, Sam. I'll say, this is great because, or here's what I learned, or here's what I'm applying. And when you make that conversation happen, other people are going to see it. And they're going to say, well, this guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about. I'm going to follow him too. So by default, I'm getting followers just from commenting. That's one of those little secret things that you can do when it comes to getting more followers and getting more engagement. So make it a point to do that. Also to repost, says Esther. Absolutely. Very important to do. Okay, so here's some profile headers essentials, right? You want to do a recent headshot, not the one from 10 years ago, which, by the way, I just updated. A banner that reflects your personal brand, right? Focuses on potential clients, talks about how you help, and make sure that you keep it simple and memorable, right? These are really, really important things to do to make sure that you're going to get immediate engagement with people, right? Sometimes people just have a really nice profile and you wind up following them anyway because it sounds like these people know what they're doing, right? So pro tip, turn on creator mode. Now, you're not going to find creator mode unless you go to your profile and edit it there. So if you edit your profile, one of the things you'll see is to turn on creator mode. And creator mode is going to open up some extra things for you. Like, for example, the follow. So for example, if you've never used LinkedIn before, and you have your basic profile set up, you're going to have the way to connect with people, but not a way for people to follow you. When you turn on creator mode, you'll be able to have the followers happen, which is so important. So make sure you're doing that. That's a big tip for you to as a takeaway. Very simple thing to do. And by the way, to go through the whole profile and do your resume over and do all that stuff, make sure everything is current. Everything that you offer is still things that you offer. Is there anything new that you haven't offered in the past, but you do now that's not on there? Make sure that it's on there. Very, very important. Yes, Anita says she never heard of creator mode. A lot of people haven't. I hadn't heard that. I didn't know that that was a thing. And I was like, I guess you have to, I thought I had to have a certain number of connections to get the follow button, but all you have to do is turn it on. Very simple, right? All right, James just did it and he writes, whoa, cool. All right. So by the way, one of the things that creator mode also does is it opens up the possibility for you to do a LinkedIn newsletter. So this is something that goes through LinkedIn. So if you don't have time to do, MailChimp or Constant Contact or one of those other email platforms, you can do something directly within LinkedIn, and that comes with turning on creator mode. So yeah, I think a lot of people are commenting on this, and that it's something that's so hidden, and it's such an important thing. So make sure that's happening. Let's see. Derek says, I have over 600 followers. I never seem to get a single like or engagement, even for something like my wife and I expecting. Congratulations. Are you a loser? No, not at all. Time, consistency, and strong branding is very important. We'll talk about all those things in a little bit. All right. So did you know that LinkedIn has a featured section? This is a very cool thing. And I borrowed Sam's. He's got sign up for his newsletter. He's got a something that he sells, which is how to use LinkedIn like crazy, right? And for growth. And then of course he's got a Calendly link. And this is all within his profile as you're scrolling down. So it's kind of like you're almost on his website a little bit, right? So you can really have a robust profile and get a lot more engagement when you have these types of things turned on. I'm just going to check quick over here. How do you find creative mode? Yeah, Audrey, it's kind of hidden somewhere in the profile. When you go to edit your profile, you'll find it. Right. James says it's right under the profile header. It shows creative mode on or off. Turn that thing on. Okay. Randy says, are these free services or is premium? I believe these are all free services. However, I do have a premium account right now because I'm using the LinkedIn Learning. By the way, LinkedIn Learning is something else. It's kind of like a online classroom for you to learn lots of different things, different classes that are taught. Some are free, some you pay for. But if you subscribe to it, most of them, I think, are all free for you to take. Really great, impressive stuff on LinkedIn Learning. But there's lots of different ways that you can do a professional account or whatever. Just do whatever makes the most sense for you, right? Okay. So we saw the featured section. Now let's look at kind of turning your resume into a landing page, right? So here is, this is Ryan's featured section. And he's got a lead magnet. This is the only 10 carousel templates you'll ever need. We'll talk about carousels in a sec. He's got a new podcast, and he's selling his powerful hooks, which is really impressive. So he's got a way to do a lead magnet, to promote a podcast, and to have passive income all on his LinkedIn profile. These are things that people don't know, and try it out. And by the way, Rhonda has confirmed that creator mode is free. That's great. Thank you. All right. So now let's see. Let's move on to what's next. Your about section. All right. So let's talk about your about section, because you want to make it a little bit more personal. I am transforming my section right now because I did what I told you not to do back in the day. And as I'm updating my LinkedIn profile, it's becoming very important for me to do everything the right way. So you're going to tell your personal story. How did you get into your business? Why do you love what you do? This is how you connect with people. What led you to start your business? What are your interests? How do you help people? All this stuff is very important. But don't copy and paste your website's about page, right? They can find that on your website. It's not your business brand. Remember, we're talking about your personal brand. So your personal brand, that's why Tiffany talks about the sock collecting, and she's, a Star Trek fan and all that stuff. You really want to connect with people on a personal level. And it's kind of like in BNI, when we do something no one knows about me, right? Or what are your hobbies? You just have something to connect with that person in case you maybe didn't think you had something in common with them. So it's always a smart way to do that for your personal brand. Make sense? All right, I'm going to jump into a poll right now. I'm giving a lot of info, so let's slow it down. I'm just curious, how often are you on LinkedIn? And this is a 2-question one. And then how often do you post on LinkedIn? So a little bit different. So how often do you just check in on LinkedIn, and how often do you post? And for those of you driving around or who can't see your screen, our choices are daily, once or twice a week, once a month, occasionally, or never. And that is okay, by the way, for those of you who have never done this before, if you've never even touched your LinkedIn profile or never even filled out one, what I want to talk about is why it's so important for you to really get on LinkedIn, because there is a lot of business happening these days. All right, let's see what we've got here. Let's end the poll in about 5 seconds. Okay, and sharing results. Let's see. Okay, so a lot of people, I'm curious. So a lot of people are on LinkedIn every day, 31%. How often do you post on LinkedIn? Only 6%. I'm in that same club, by the way. I hadn't posted on LinkedIn very rarely. Once in a while I post in. Now I'm going to be doing a lot. So, by the way, I hope you're following me. Did I mention follow me on LinkedIn apart from those other people I told you to follow? Because I'll be sharing lots and lots of stuff. But I think the majority of people, are, fairly casual when it comes to LinkedIn. And I think that kind of proves out here. And that's all okay. But what I wanted to do was do this next poll, because I think this is an important one. I can find it. Let's see. There we go. Poll number 2. What is stopping you from posting on LinkedIn? And the questions, the responses are, I need to update my profile. I need a new logo or headshot. I don't have content to post. I don't have time. I'm confused about posting on LinkedIn versus Facebook and Instagram and the other things, or something else. And please put it in the chat if it's something else. I'm curious to know what those things are that are keeping you from posting on LinkedIn, because I know a lot of people, myself included, have some hesitation with LinkedIn versus how easy it is to post on things like Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or X, whatever it's called these days, right? So let's see. Austin says, I'm not sure what will be considered interesting to my connections. That's a good one. I post 3 to 4 times a week on LinkedIn. Okay. To post more, I think I need to create a calendar of content. Yes. That is a brilliant thing to do, by the way, to set up a content calendar. A lot of people get very excited. They post maybe once or twice and they're like, well, I'm out. I'm done. And then they never post again. Setting up a content calendar is a great pro tip. So thank you for that. Just block off. How often do you think you can post? Is it once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week? Can you do it every day? That's all up to you to decide. But I would start small and be consistent and then add to it. Because the one thing you don't want to do is put in 5 posts in one day and then not post ever again, right? Very important to kind of make sure that your time is well spent, done properly. And here's the results on this poll, by the way. So the big winner was, I don't have time. I get it. It is a lot of time that you have to, the only way to do LinkedIn the right way is to consider it time for you to market your business and to block it off on your schedule, whether it's 15 minutes a day or a half hour a day or an hour a day, whatever you want to do. This is you promoting your business. And if you do it the right way, you can do quite well. And the reason I say that is I am as casual a LinkedIn person as has been. That's about to change, but I'm still getting business. I'm getting people reaching out to me on LinkedIn just from little comments I'm making on people's posts. And it's really been an eye-opener for me. So, I can't express how I think this is something that you can do really quite well, right? Okay, so let me stop sharing this one. By the way, those of you who need to update your profile, get your logo, a headshot, I know this is all important, but here's what I would say to you. This is the advice that I was given by many people, because I'm on a disc profile, I'm the C guy, the one who's like, let me check everything to make sure that it's right before it goes down. And a lot of people say, just get out there and start posting. You can tweak as you go along and make things better. And I think that's fine, because if you don't have a lot of followers in the beginning, who cares? Just get the word out there and start building from there, right? What he's asking, do you need the paid version? I don't think you need the paid version, no. Okay, I'm gonna I share the, I don't even know did I share these results? I'm sorry. I got a lot going on here. So if you don't have the content to post, that's a time for you to think about what are the things that you can share, and what would make it easier for you to explain your business, to get people interested in what you do, and for you to build engagement, right? By the way, Victoria says I've linked my YouTube videos to my LinkedIn. This is a good idea. Videos are great for engagement. I will tell you, Victoria, there is a little secret going around the LinkedIn world that I learned, and that is, if you've got the video that you uploaded to YouTube, upload it individually from your desktop to LinkedIn, so that it's not your YouTube video, it's an actual LinkedIn video. LinkedIn tends to give them a little bit more engagement, so you'll probably get a wider reach if you're uploading directly to LinkedIn. Okay. All right, now where were we? Moving on. Okay, so talking about posting content. Again, we just talked about using photos and videos as often as possible. That is going to get people's eyes on it as they're scrolling and scrolling, right? Video uploads, there you go, get more views than YouTube links. And so see what I wrote here, post regularly, daily is a good thing when growing a following. Yes, if you can. Those of you who said, I don't have time, daily is not going to happen for you, and that is okay. Post at least once a week, you know, on the same time, Monday morning or Tuesday afternoon, whenever, just do it on a regular basis, because the people who followed you when you posted on that Tuesday afternoon are probably there. That's when they're hanging around. So I don't know that there's necessarily in the beginning a best time. I would experiment a little bit if you're going to do multiple posts and do it different times on different days. Just try to be consistent. Okay. We talked about commenting, meaningful comments from people that you follow. By the way, following those thought leaders is great. Following local businesses, following everybody in your chapter, the more engagement you get with them, the more they might get involved in being on LinkedIn. And if your whole chapter is there, then you're going to have a lot more interaction, because as they're commenting and following, it's the easiest way for you to get. Someone posted earlier on that said they had trouble getting any kind of engagement. So why not do a project within your chapter for those interested who want to get on LinkedIn, fill out their profiles, and engage with each other, so you're promoting each other's business outside the chapter. It's a really good way for you to do it. And the more that you're engaging each other, the more reach you're going to get outside of your regular reach that you get with just the people who follow you. That makes sense? All right, I'm jumping to check the chat here. Let's see. Jamie says, follow people who look like they might make good referral partners, or better, the group whose members are your ideal clients. Absolutely. I think you have to do both, right? You want to follow people that you think could be good clients for you, but you also want to follow people that you know, or people who you want to connect with, and think that you can pass the business to outside of your own group. Let's see. Absolutely, Rhonda. I think it's really important to. That's where I start. I follow everybody in my chapter, people that I know in BNI, people that I work with here on the global support team. Very important to get those connections going. There's I know some people did something called like a LinkedIn comment party, and so they were having a visitors day, and so they put the event on there saying, we are having, people of whatever city it was, we're having this big event. And then everyone in the chapter commented, I'm going to be there, here's what I do. And people just did that. And it was like a really cool idea, but it blew up and it became the biggest post on this person's account. So consider that. So this is a nice little project you can do if you do contact sphere meetings or power team meetings in your chapter, to bring this up as an idea for engagement. All right, let's see. So I'll tease you, here's the secret sauce to getting more views is what? The LinkedIn carousel. So if you haven't seen a LinkedIn carousel, it's basically, it looks like this big square on your feed, but you can click through it. It's actually, although this is showing like a top to bottom as a page 1 and page 2 and so on and so forth, it really runs left to right. on LinkedIn. This is something that you can make very easily. Well, I'd say very easily. You can learn to make on a platform like Canva, or maybe even PowerPoint or something. We're just kind of stringing along a bunch of these images and putting whatever you'd like on there. Here's a shout out to the graphic designers of BNI. They can also help you make really beautiful graphics that you can share. I love these, and they get huge. They're like super magnets for people to say, all right, what's he talking about? Especially if you've got a good hook. So this one from Sam here says 15 ways to 15 times your productivity with ChatGPT. And so those who are curious about that will go through and check out what he's got. Right. We'll check comments in a sec. Let's see, are carousels like stories on Facebook and Instagram? Sort of. Carousel is a permanent post. So it's going to be in your feed forever. It's not going to vanish like a story does after 24 hours. But the carousel is, it just works like a regular post, right? Jamie uses Canva every day, so she can definitely work on that. Okay. And so these carousels, I have another page on this one. So let's just jump over here real quick. Okay, so lots of different ways of showing your carousels, right? And the different topics. The one thing that I'm learning here is that people are sharing tons of information. They don't leave anything out. And here's why. They want to tell you, like, see this one, 13 SEO Chrome extensions, or, how to outline a blog post. This is what people do for a living, but they're using these carousels to show you how involved all the work is and why they're so good at what they do, right? And so if you get to a step-by-step on how to outline a blog post, seems simple, but maybe it's a lot of steps. And for those of you who are like in a time crunch all the time, this is not something that you want to do. You may want to hire that person to do it for you, right? And so this is why we share so many things that we used to kind of keep close to the vest. Well, this is what I do so well. Yep, share it. Because the people on here who don't have the time are going to hire you. And you will see that the creators on here who are the top creators are fearless in what they share. They show you absolutely everything. Because in the end, you have all this information and you're like, I don't have time to do this. This is a full-time job. Yeah, guess what? Hire one of these people. And that can be you. So if you are someone who does IT work or SEO or something in the creative field, or if you're an attorney or whatever, everyone has an opportunity to say, here's what I do, and here's what I do well, and here's how I do it. You can't do it. Hire me, right? And that's how that's how the sharing really happens. And it really is a game changer in terms of getting followers and getting engagement. Share, 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 right? Joe says, once people see what you do, they realize you're an expert and want to engage with you. Absolutely. This is big for real estate agents who kind of share their secrets. And a lot of stuff really isn't all that secret, but it makes a big difference to be able to share that information. Hey, I want this person to sell my house because they know what they're talking about, right? Jamie says, yes, you position yourself as an expert. A little ebook goes a long way. Yes, absolutely. And that's pretty much what these carousels are. They are like little ebooks, like little lead magnets. If you ever go onto a website that says, give us your email info or something else, and we'll, give you this free download. These are really essentials for you to put onto your website, but also to make these carousels. Someone asked about how do you make these carousels? Definitely go into, if you have a free Canva account, go in there, look it up, and it'll show you basically how to set it up. But basically, they're just little either square or rectangular panels that look like pages. I prefer the rectangular panel like these. And you just kind of put them all together, and then you just upload them into LinkedIn, and they'll come together like in a PDF. And by the way, you can also download a lot of these PDFs. So as you're reading these carousels, you may say, hey, this is something I need to learn. I want to download that PDF, right? Okay, so next. All right, so we just talked about this. I'm going to say it again. Your best suggestion to gain followers is to share everything. Share what you know, share what you're good at, give tips. This is what is going to get people to follow you on a regular basis. And also, of course, turn on your creator mode so that they can actually follow you. Right? All right. All right, we are at the end. We're at Q&A time. So let's look at some Q's and some A's. I will give you. So we jump in. Is it necessary to use premium? There are some contacts that respond to me, but I can't see their responses unless I subscribe to premium. Yeah, I mean, there are cases where there are some limitations on a free account, but for the most part, you should be able to do pretty well with a free account. It is a little pricey. It's like usually it's somewhere between, I think, maybe $30 and $50, depending on which account you have every month. So you have to see if it's worth it for you to do that. But you can do fairly well with a free account and get plenty of engagement. I think though, if you're going to go all in on this, and it's something that you really want to use LinkedIn to grow your business and to get connected with people, then I would spring for the premium account. But that's a decision for you to make. Austin's asking about the optimum length for videos. Is there an optimal mix of photo posts and video posts and text posts? Yeah, if you can mix it up, that's great. You'll see all the best content providers usually have one main way that they go. Either they'll do just carousels, or they'll do, I should say mostly carousels or mostly video. But yes, mixing it up is so different people react differently to what you're putting out, different media. So I think it's good to have one thing that you're known for. So if you're great at video, if you're great at carousels, go with those. And then mix in some of the other ones. Optimal length for videos. I don't like a long video. I don't. I think people will just want to kind of get the point, right? So I would try to keep videos 90 seconds or less. To me, 45 to 60 seconds, there you go. That's just get your point out. And you have, by the way, you're going to have your video post, and you can put, some text below it and links below it. So all of those things will be there. So you don't have to feel like you have to put everything into the video itself. Short and sweet is always the best way to go. Alexi says, do random people see my posts even if they are not my connections? So what I would say to that, Alexi, is the more that you are posting and engaging, LinkedIn is going to say, hey, this is someone who's doing some work here. Let's start putting it out to other people in the LinkedIn universe. And certainly the more that you engage, so when people comment, then that's, an opportunity for you to follow them. So just you got to kind of play this LinkedIn game to get a wider reach. So yes, you never know who's going to see your posts, but for the most part, people are going to see your posts are the people who follow you now, right? Until you start building it out. Gabriella is asking, how do you set up a LinkedIn Live? So LinkedIn Live, I believe, is part of being a content creator. So you want to make sure that you have creator mode turned on like that. And I believe, I haven't done a LinkedIn Live yet, but I believe it works very similar to Facebook Live, which is you just kind of hit your live button and your camera's going to go on. You're going to start talking and recording. Jamie says, I still need a little help with my brand. It's taken me almost a year to figure out who I am versus what I do. I'm a writer, writing coach, editor. So Jamie, we have that in common. People know me through academic circles, but I want to broaden that to be the person, the expert on LinkedIn. So Jamie, you know what I would say? There's somebody you should do a one-to-one with, and his name is Steve Tenuso. This guy right here. Shoot me an email, and we will do a one-to-one, and we'll talk about all this stuff, because I think it's really important to know what your brand is and what your message is. And I've worked very hard on mine. It's very hard, by the way, when you're doing it. I know a lot of you have said this to me in the past. It's very hard for you to write about yourself, right? Because you've got this broader view and you've got all these ideas in your head, and people don't need to know everything. They just need to know what's important. You need to know the things that are going to make them want to connect with you, right? And by the way, that one-to-one is not exclusive to Jamie. Anyone, I'm happy to do a one-to-one with you and talk about these things. Okay? All right. Let's see. Do I have any other questions in Q&A? I don't. I'm going to look at the chat here. See what we got. We got some new messages coming in. Yep. So you can email me at my name, steve@tenuso.com. That is my professional email. Those of you who have Steve Tenuso at BNI.com, I'll answer from that one as well. Totally fine. Let's see. Oh, people are asking about this video and this recording. Yes, indeed. So this will be posted on our BNI Team USA YouTube channel. You can just Google BNI Team USA YouTube and you will find it. And we'll have this video up right around 5 p.m. today. Okay. All right. I think that is it for questions. Wait, let's see. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to request one more time. Hey, before I switch here, please follow me on LinkedIn. I would love it if you would, and or connect with me directly on LinkedIn. That would be great. If you want to do a one-to-one, again, let's get in touch. We'll talk about your business as well. Okay. And please join us next week. I've got David Kaufman, and he is been working for many years on the BNI Foundation, and I really want this thing to happen. I think this is going to be the year that we do it. I'm trying to get us involved in business voices. When I say us, I mean those of us on this webinar. I would love for you within your chapter to do something amazing for a local charity that is related to children, whether it's a school or a Boys and Girls Club or whatever, where you can do a fundraiser of sorts, a charity drive to collect things. It can be an amazing thing. We did a backpack drive here in Massachusetts a few years ago. It was amazing. That would benefit the Boys and Girls Clubs. So he'll be on next week. So please join us for that one. Until then, we'll see you all next week. Thanks all for being on. Hey, I got through this whole thing by myself. Pretty cool. All right. We'll see you all next week. Take care.